So hey everyone, in today's session we will be seeing CSS selectors. In the last session we saw how to create XPath, and CSS is another way of locating the elements on the web page. So in CSS we'll start with those methods which are comparative to XPath methods, like finding the particular node by using the attributes of the node, finding the uh, a particular node by using the containing value or starting value of the attribute. In CSS there is something called as ending value also, which is new, that also we'll see. So in the beginning we'll see comparative methods, and then we'll see some CSS specific methods which are again very useful in terms of finding the elements. So for that, let me go to some website like yahoo.com. Now let me activate the inspector and inspect some element. Okay, so now when we activate inspector and find an element, it takes us to the particular description in the HTML document. Now the steps are same. We will look at the description given over here. It will be consist of three parts. First part will be the name of the tag, then there will be different attributes. At the end, if text is there, like in this case for this element text is present, so the third part will be text. In CSS there is no usage of text. You cannot use text to create your selector. Okay, so we will have to rely upon two things. One is tag name and others are attributes. So the first and very basic method that we saw in XPath also, and a similar method here, is how to find the node by using attribute value. So using attribute, and it is simple. You need to start with the name of the tag. So it is span is the tag in this case. In XPath we used to start with // over here it is not required. So start with the name of the tag. Just observe that I have selected CSS over here in the file path. Just I want to check whatever CSS I'm creating. So better to create it in the file path, test it, and then use it in the scenario. Now starting with the name of the tag, in the brackets we will start with attribute name. Now this particular element has ID as an attribute and nothing else, so it just has ID, and sorry, it has class. We can use ID to create CSS selector. So the way we used to do it for XPath, we used to put @ and then we used to put the name of the attribute. In CSS there is no need to put @ sign, because all we are going to use is either tag name or attributes. There is nothing called as text, so there is no need of explaining it with @ sign that we are going to use attribute. So just put name of the attribute, put equal to sign, in the quotations put the value and enter. If it matches, it will show you that how many number of matches it is finding. In this case it is matching one unique node, which is over here. If you want to test it again, you can cut it, take your focus on some other element, paste the CSS selector that you have created and put enter, and it should take you back to the original one for which you have created this CSS. So first and very basic method, which is same to XPath, starting with the node, then in the square brackets put the name of the attribute, equal to, put the value of the attribute. Simple. And this can be used for any attributes. You can use ID, class, any attribute that is possibly present over there. You can use this approach to create the CSS selector for that. So this is the very basic and first step that we saw. Now this is something for all attributes. It can be used for type, it can be used for any other attribute that can be found over there. Now if the attribute is ID, like in case of this specific case we are using ID, so there is no need to create a long statement like this. All we can use is a symbol. In CSS there are symbols for different things. For ID there is hash symbol. So if you put a hash, it means whatever you have written after hash is the value of the ID or value of the ID attribute. Now this statement over here is exactly similar to this statement in terms of execution, whatever we have written over here. The difference only is if we are going to use ID attribute to find a particular node, then there is no need to provide all these details like in the square brackets name of the attribute equals to in the quotation the value of the attribute. All we can use is the name of the tag and then hash and the value of the ID. Hash over here represents ID. So let us create one more section over here, and over there the first thing is hash represents ID. Okay, so as we can use hash for ID, for class also there is something that we can use. So for class attribute, in case for a particular node we want to use class, so let me find an element like this over here. This one, div tag, which can be used normally with class is equal to col1, which is finding one node. This is also fine, but the thing which I was about to tell you is this class also can be represented by dot symbol. This dot symbol can represent class, and then if you put it like this, and when you use the symbol there is no need of quotations there. So div dot colon 1, in sense it represents a div tag, and in that div tag there is a class attribute and whose value is col1, which is right here. So when we want to use class as attribute to find out a particular node, we can use dot in CSS. So every time it starts with name of the tag. Some people does not do that. Even if you do it this way, it will work many times, but I always recommend that always start with div tag, I mean whatever tag is over there, and then put dot for class and hash for ID. Or if you are going to use any other attribute, then in the square brackets use the name of the attribute and equal to value of the attribute. So this is the third thing. And second, dot equals to class. ID hash class is dot. Now fourth thing, like in case of XPath, we always used starts with, contains, those method we can use. So to use starts with method, for example, let me go back to Firefox. Like right over here, if I am going to use this, find this particular node, and I want to use starts with, like I want to use ID and I want to say that find something that starts with Navi for ID. So the process will be same, starting with the div tag, then in the square brackets use ID as attribute, then starts with, there is no need to write starts with as the text that we do in XPath. All we need to do is just put this not symbol equal to and whatever part you want to give over here you can give. That is the beginning part of the value of that particular attribute, and it is going to find that particular node. So starting with the name of the tag, then attribute, then this not symbol, it says the value whatever is defined over here, that value is the starting value. It's not the whole value, it is the starting value of this attribute. Like if you want to take another example, like this source is another attribute in this case, and the tag is script tag. If I am interested to find this node, so let me put script, and the value, starting value of the script is something like this. Let me see if it finds, and yes, it is finding it with the starting value of the attribute src for the script tag. So this is the fourth thing, and over here it is starts with, and the symbol what we learned here is this not symbol represents starts with. As there is starts with, there is ends with also in this case, and which is a special thing for CSS which is not there in XPath. Okay, ends with, now over here for the same node, if I want to use ends with, I will have to use this text .js or whatever you want to use, but make sure it is ending value of that particular attribute. So .js is the ending value, and the symbol for ends with is $. So in this case, look at the nodes. It is saying 9 matching nodes found. It means in a case, assume that I want to find out all the nodes in your document which are .pdf, which contain .pdf file, or which contain .jpg file, something like that. So that is all possible. With ends with, we just need to give the ending value of a particular attribute, and for that the symbol is $. So starting with the name of the tag, then in the square bracket put the name of the attribute. Any attribute is fine. $, it indicates that whatever value specified here is the ending value of the attribute. Okay, and if you see, there are multiple nodes found with the ending value. If you want to be more specific, to be able to filter down to 1, then you will have to provide more, more accurate value, more accurate ending value of the attribute here. So let me copy it and put it back there. 5 things: starts with, ends with, and there is something called as contains also. Contains, which was there in XPath also. Containing value, let us take any nodes. Okay, so if I want to take some value in between, so let me take this 3 p.m. but the symbol for contains is star or asterisk. Now the explanation is same. Start with the name of the tag, then use in the brackets name of the attribute, then put star, which indicates whatever value provided over here is the containing value. Now it contains means it can be anywhere. It can be starting position, it can be ending position, it can be somewhere in between. Everything is fine. Okay, so this is the 5th thing. Sorry, this is the 6th thing, contains. And with this we learned 2 more symbols. Dollar means ends with, and asterisk means contains. Okay, so let us look at 6 things, and these are the most basic in CSS selector. Most of the time when you will use them, when you will work on CSS selectors, you will use these methods. These are very important. There are again some other methods also which we'll see in some time, but these are the most important ones, most basic ones. Use the ID, or use the attribute, any attribute, use ID attribute, use class attribute, then use starting value, ending value, contains, hash indicates ID, dot indicates class, this not symbol indicates starts with, dollar symbol indicates ends with, and asterisk uh, indicates contains. I think the spelling I put wrong. Yeah, contains. Okay, now CSS has some special methods, and a lot of them revolve around the tag names, only the tag names. For example, I want to select everything with link tag. So you can say link tag over here. There is a tag also for links, anchor, or there is link tag also that we see over here. Suppose I want to select all the links. You can just put link, enter. So it will say there are 27 links on the page, or 27 link tags on the page. So just tag is also sufficient. If we just put the tag, let me delete all these. So all the tags, or all the nodes which contain that tag, which starts with that tag, they will get highlighted, they will get retrieved when you use this kind of CSS selector. So this is also a valid CSS selector, only tag name. Okay, you want to choose multiple tags, like for example, I want to choose, let me see, some all the buttons. For example, there are buttons and there are h4 tag also, there are like in less number a bit. So let me start with that. I want to select all the buttons and I want to select all the h4 tags. Then just put h4 comma, put another tag that you want to find, that is button. So you can copy and paste there. So comma means you are just mentioning the tags that you want to find. So it will give you the combination of all those tags, like it will find h4 tags also, it will find buttons also, it will find links also. So if you look at the value, 136 matching nodes found, they all contain either h4, button, or li tags. There is no need to provide any other description. Just by providing the name of the tag also, you can retrieve the matching nodes. So the next thing that we see in the document is using only tags. Just copy this as the example for that. Eighth thing is, now if you look at the HTML document structure, the structure is in a tree kind of a structure, which is similar to XML structure, XML tree, because HTML is derived from XML itself. So the thing is, see, in this case, what I want to do is I want to select all the list tags which are inside UL tags. I'm not interested in searching all the list tags in the document, but I want to search only those which are inside UL tag. So for that, what you can do is use UL tag and space li tag. There is no comma in between. So what it will find, it will give you all the list tags which are inside UL tags. So look at the output. Everything, every list tag it will find, that will be inside UL tag. This is also inside UL tag as part of this UL. Now in this case, there is no need that UL should be the immediate parent. It should be just inside that. So let us take another example. Over here, this is H1 tag and this is A tag. So if I say select all the A tags which are inside, or this is a B tag also, let us see this thing, all the B tags which are inside H1 tag. Let us see how it behaves in this case. H1 and B. So it's selecting this, and fortunately there is just one. So B tag which is inside H1 tag. H1 is not the immediate parent, which is very important to note in this case, but still it is highlighting it. It should be either child or the child of the child or the child of the child of the child. Somehow it should be inside the first tag. So if you consider this is as tag 1, this is at tag 2, then it will find all the tag 2s which are inside tag 1. Doesn't matter they are right inside or they are inside the child of the child. Okay, so this is the next thing. If we use 2 tags, it means it will find the all second tags in tag 1. So find all tags in some tag. So it will find all the B tags in H1 tag in this case. But if the condition is I want to be more specific, I want to find only the B tags where H1 is the parent. So find all, so the better is I will write or tag 2s in tag 1. Find all tag 2s in tag 1 where tag 1 is parent. So for that, a little difference we want to make is just put a greater than sign. So in this case also it will find all the B tags which are inside H1 tag, but the condition should be and is H1 should be the parent of B. In this case it will not find any node because the B is not parent, but if you say A, then it will find that, because I know that for this H1 A is the parent, A is the child. So over here A is the right and the first child, direct child for H1, that's why it is getting found. Okay, if you want to take another example for that, in the form tag, for the form has a table as the child over here. So if I say find all the table tags which are inside form tag, so form will be the parent and then greater than table. So it will find all the tag 2s which are inside tag 1 where tag 1 is immediate parent of tag 2. So there is just one matching node over here and this is the one. So the explanation goes as find all tag 2s in tag 1 where tag 1 is the immediate parent. So the difference in between space, I mean nothing in between the tags and a greater than sign is whenever there is greater than sign, the first tag should be immediate parent of second tag. Okay, as we can use tag, we can use only attributes also. Like if I said find all the nodes which contain ID attribute. So just put it inside the square brackets, and it will find all the nodes that contain ID attribute. So it doesn't matter what is the value of the attribute, it is but just selecting all the nodes which contain ID attribute. And if you look at the document, it's highlighting a lot of elements over there. So everything that contains ID as attribute, that's getting highlighted over here. Find everything that contains href attribute. There are almost 167 matching nodes which contains href attribute. So as you can use tag name, you can also use the name of the attribute also. So using for that, we want to use square brackets, and in the square brackets we want to use the name of the attribute. Now with parents, there is another interesting thing over here. Now you can see for this UL tag there are a lot of li tags as child items. So if I say find an li tag who is the first child of its parent, so it will find all the li tags who are the first child of its parent. Like starting with this, if you look at this, so it is finding li tag, but that li tag should be the first child of its parent. Over here also there are others also, but it is only first is getting highlighted. So if you want to use that way, let us take another example. For example, I want to use all the div tag who are the first child of their parent. So it's finding all the div tags which are first child of their parent, almost 167 tags. Here it's getting found because it is the first child of body. Here it is getting found because it's first child of div. The second one is getting found because it is the first child of this div, and so on. There are a lot of others. So if you want to select some specific tag, but that should be the first child of its parent, then this is the way. So the next thing that comes up, 11th, is find first child. And this is the method. We can find last child also in the same way. Only thing I want to replace over here is last child. What will happen? It will still find div tags only, but in that case, that div tag should be the last child of its parent. Now over here, this is getting highlighted because it is the last child of its parent. Now over here, this has just one child, so first and last both are same. So they are all getting highlighted because those are the only child of their parents. And let me just change the tag. Find all link tags where that link is last child of its parent, or a tag. Fine. So a lot of links are getting highlighted which are the last child of its parent. Like over here, look at this case. In this case, div is the parent. There is only one link and this is the last child of its parent. That's why it's getting highlighted. Okay. So the second way is using last child. If I want to select some specific child like second, third, fourth, then we can use nth child method. Instead of first or last, we can use nth child. and in bracket provide the number like third child. So it will still select links or a tags, but that link or a tag should be third child of its parent. So there are 5 such occurrences. In this case, when we look at this, it is the third child of its parent. Who is the parent? This li tag is the parent. First child is span, second child is span, third child is link. That's why it's getting highlighted. Similarly, where are the other occurrences? Yeah, similarly here also. Same case, same, and I think all of those are same things. So you can give the number over here and it will find that particular child. So these are the 13 methods. There are other methods also, but they are the most important ones. 13 over here. In those also, if you look at the first 6 methods which are most widely used, and you will use those when you will work on the Selenium project. They are most useful for creating the selectors. So go through all these and take any application or the application which you are automating in the office and take some random elements you're working upon and try to create the CSS selectors with these.